and brick-and-mortar bookstores. So make this free call right now to claim your free author's guide to publishing. Don't wait another day. Take one step closer to realizing your dream of becoming a published author and seeing your name in print. You've already written a book, so the next thing to do is make this free call right now to Dorrance Publishing and get your free guide to publishing. Call right now.
800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. That's 800-485-6003.
Live from San Francisco on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network, you are listening to Wrestling Observer Live.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on.
It's Wrestling Observer Live on Saturday. 1-800-878-PLAY. 1-800-878-7529. We're live 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And Saturdays, as Brian Alvarez mentions, every now and then, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. It's me, Jim Valley. That I can tell you. But other than that, I have got so many questions this weekend. Is CM Punk still the AEW World Champion? Did he relinquish the title? Did he not relinquish the title? I don't know. We'll sort that out. Did WWE have yet another 6-person challenge to determine the number one contender? That I do know. Because WWE, Raw, and SmackDown always have 6-pack challenges to determine the number one contender. Is Hell in the Cell this weekend? Hell in the Cell is always on the calendar, and once again, feels like WWE catches itself unprepared and slaps together a premium live event. Also, by commercials, there's a new Jurassic Park movie coming out. You know, if I get pulled over and I'm not wearing a seatbelt, I'll get a ticket. But if I want to build yet another theme park with ravenous, living, killing machines in it, go right ahead. Who keeps building these murderous dinosaur theme parks? As Jeff Goldblum might say, sequels, they find a way. Do they not remember what happened the last 5 times? It must be the same people who don't prepare for Hell in a Cell. How many raptor attacks need to happen until John Hammond's relatives learn? How many times will I watch Smackdown until I learn? And by learn, I mean, will I learn what show Lacy Evans is on? Is she Americana? Is she a sassy Southern belle? She's military. She's pregnant. It's Ric Flair's baby. It's her husband's baby. Big Show looks at her career and goes, damn. Was Big Show ever pregnant? I don't know. We'll talk about that and more coming up. It's Jim Valley. I'll never learn. Wrestling Observer Live. Sports Law Byline Broadcasting Network.
Do you love
You're clear.
car payment? Open Road Lending can reduce your car payment by as much as $100 a month or more. It's easy to refinance your car payment. Just call today to get your no-obligation quote and find out how much you can save. To qualify for a lower car payment, your car should be less than 10 years old, have less than 125,000 miles, and you've made at least 6 on-time payments. Call Open Road Lending today to learn how you can lower your rate and your payment by refinancing. It's easy, only takes a few minutes, and there's no cost or obligation to apply and get approved. Call today and see how much you can save. 800-871-9417. 800-871-9417. 800-871-9417. That's 800-871-9417. Terms and conditions apply. Financing is available with approved credit. See openroadlending.com for details. Are you tired of paying hundreds of dollars or more every month for your family's health benefits? Would you pay as little as $10 a week to save more money on your healthcare visits? You'll save on dental care, chiropractic visits, telehealth visits, vision care, medical lab work, and much, much more. All of this for one low fee of around $40 a month for your entire family. Ameriplan has been providing Americans with fantastic discount health plans for 30 years. Have access to 250,000 high-quality health providers. Even if you have health insurance, you need to have an Ameriplan discount health plan. And again, for less than $40 a month, your entire family is covered. Best thing you can do is make a free call right now and learn about how our Platinum plan can help you with your healthcare needs for as low as $40 a month. 800-723-2391. 800-723-2391. 800-723-2391. That's 800-723-2391. Do you need to get your hands on some extra money right now? Maybe $25,000 or more? If you're a homeowner, now is a perfect time to get cash out while homes in many neighborhoods like yours have gone up in value. You can use the money for anything. It's yours. You can buy an investment property, pay off higher interest debt, or make home improvements. If you need $25,000, $50,000, or more, now is the time. Home values are up, and so is your equity. We offer you a way to use it. No need to use your savings. Call New American Funding now and see how much cash out you can get. Call 800-209-6124, 800-209-6124, 800-209-6124. That's 800-209-6124. NMLS 6606. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. This is not an offer or commitment to lend. Subject to borrower and property qualifications. Not all borrowers will qualify. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing opportunity.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. Man, have I got a show for you today. Your hot take uncle is going to serve up some sacred cows. It is a June barbecue, and today's show is going to be well done. But before I get to that, I want to mention Cauliflower Alley Club announced its 222 honorees this year. More may be added, but so far, this is what we know. The convention takes place September 26th, the 28th at the Plaza Hotel in Las Vegas, which is down on Fremont. I think everyone is going to love being down on Fremont. And so far announced, John Layfield with the Mike Mazurki Award, which is kind of the top award. Jerry Lawler with the President's Award. Conan Lucha Libre Award honoree. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express, the Tag Team Award. Billy Silverman with the Charlie Smith Referee Award. Madison Miles with the Future Legend Award, plus Men's Award honorees, Tommy Rich and Kevin Sullivan. We could see some more, but that is a great lineup. You can find out more information how you can be at the convention, but to be at the reunion, you do need to be a member. It's just $27.50 for a one-year membership, $31 a year Canadian, or $49 a year if you're overseas for a one-year membership. A lifetime membership is $307.50, and you are in for life, as they say. I didn't even do the thing right. For life. Is that backwards? I don't know. I'm on YouTube. I can't tell. You can go to my YouTube link and watch. I am all dressed up today because I'm actually going to get my driver's license photo right after this. So I actually showered and I put on a collared shirt. But getting back to Cauliflower Alley, money goes to help people in wrestling who are down on their luck. I mean, it's not life-changing things, but oftentimes people fall behind on bills. For example, Kamala bought a wheelchair ramp for Kamala's van for when he was alive. From Paul Orndorff, when he was alive, he fell behind on his property taxes, and CIC helped him stay in his house. You know, things get bad. I can testify for that. A lot of times people go, for example, someone like Paul Orndorff, he main evented the first WrestleMania, was a main eventer for years. But, things can happen. Things like life. I prepared and suddenly I got sick and my insurance didn't cover things. To be clear, I haven't asked Cauliflower Alley Club for money, but I'm just giving you an example. Cauliflower Alley Club is offered, but I'm just saying, for example, I thought I was insured, but it turns out I had a pre-existing condition and I wasn't insured. And life intervened and it cost my wife and I hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're not where we hope to be. We're not in the worst place possible, but things aren't as great as they could be had I not unfortunately gotten sick. So it's something that's near and dear to my heart. It helps a lot of people who are involved in wrestling. You don't need to be a star. You don't need to be a main event talent. You can be an indie person, and a Cauliflower Alley Club can still help you. And the reunions every year are great. You get up and get up close with people. You can go to the bar and talk with people. It's not, a it's a reunion. It's not like, like a meet and greet thing where you pay for access. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But the speeches, the reunion are great. They're not paid. So a lot of times people talk about things that you don't expect, and they can be very touching speeches. So I always join it. Get more information at caulifloweralleyclub.org. So, CM Punk. If you watched Rampage last night, CM Punk said on Friday's Rampage that he's injured and he's going to be off and it required surgery. Now, Chris Jericho is being a heel, and at first on commentary, it was unclear whether Punk was releasing his title, relinquishing it, or not. He alluded to the fact that Tony Khan said he shouldn't. And Chris Jericho on commentary minutes later said, going into commercial break, that Punk was actually doing just that, relinquishing it. Jericho said it again during the next segment. However, Excalibur corrected it and attempted to clarify things afterwards. So here's what we do know for sure. Let me clarify if you're unclear. CM Punk is not, I repeat, not relinquishing the title. There's going to be a battle royal to kick off Wednesday's Dynamite. Now, the number of men in the match has not been announced, but we do know that the winner of the battle royal will face number one contender Jon Moxley in Wednesday's main event. And the winner of that match will move on to the interim world title match at the Forbidden Door at the pay-per-view. So it's going to be the number one contender for the Forbidden Door at the pay-per-view. And at some point in the future, the interim world champion will face CM Punk in a world title match. You got that? Number one contender versus Jon Moxley for the interim title at the Forbidden Door. Now, did Punk get injured during the stage dive going into the crowd? You can see footage where he caught his foot and he's kind of limping. No one said where the injury occurred, but I don't know, could have been in that moment. And I've seen on social media where some don't like interim champions. I personally don't care. I don't see what the big deal is. You're not going to please everyone. UFC has used interim world champions. I am sure that Tony Khan has got a plan. Ratings showed that Wardlow was the number one contender. But if you watch AEW, you watch the matches, Moxley does seem to be on a tear lately. I personally see him as legitimate number one contender. Now, I'm sure before all this, the plan was that Wardlow is number one contender and he was going to move forward doing whatever. But I'm sure that with CM Punk's injury, the plans change. You don't like it? That's fine. You can call and complain if you want. 1-800-878-PLAY. 1-800-878-7529. You can complain about that, or you can tweet me at Jim Valley. I, for one, don't have a problem with it. You got to do what you got to do sometimes. Also, last night, an excellent match between the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. No matter how many times you see those two teams, it's always different. It's always fresh. This time, the Young Bucks won, but what a great match. I tell you what, Phoenix is so underrated and so athletic. It's ridiculous. I love that guy. I could watch those two teams fight forever. It's amazing. Love those guys. All right, coming up, Natalya is the new number one contender to the Smackdown Women's Championship. She won the six-pack challenge. I'm sorry, but who cares? Love Natalya, but who cares? I'll tell you why I don't care. And we'll talk about that coming up next. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live, Sports Byline Broadcasting.
You're clear.
Looking to start a business? From side hustles to major business opportunity? Franchise 123 connects franchise buyers with sellers. And we have over 4,000 franchises for you to choose from. In one simple 30-second call, our live agents will sign you up to the platform. This is not a hard sales call either. We give you free access to our database. Yes, free access. No cost. We are the largest online franchise database in the world. You can find 95% of all businesses. Buying a franchise doesn't have to be complicated. We make it easy. And right now, some have no startup fees. You can turn your special skill into a franchise business or go full scale with all the top franchise businesses in the world. Sign up with Franchise 123 now and get your free guide to franchise success now. Call 800-433-0539, 800-433-0539, or text Franchise 123 to 63566. Text Franchise 123 to 63566.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. That's 800-824-5131.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
It's Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live, 1-800-878-PLAY, 1-800-878-7529. Tweet me at Jim Valley. As I mentioned, Natalya is the new #1 contender to the WWE Women's Smackdown Championship. Natalya won a 6-pack challenge on this week's SmackDown to become the #1 contender to Ronda Rousey's women's title. They were kind of vague about it. No date seemingly set for the defense. Is it at Hell in a Cell? I don't know. Is it next week on SmackDown? I don't know. 6-pack challenge also involved Shotzi, Aaliyah, or as Michael Cole called her, Aliyah, Shayna Baszler, Xia Li, Raquel Rodriguez, with Natalya pinning Shotzi to become the #1 contender. You know, I can watch AEW television. You can watch AEW television, and you can kind of tell, even without the ratings, who are the #1 contenders, who's moving up the ladder, who's #1, who might be #2, 3, 4, 5. You can tell. You can argue about the sports presentation or not, but you can tell by wins and losses who's hot and who's not in the title hunt. On WWE, you win one match and you're the #1 contender. I'm going to be honest with you. I am sick of two things. I'm sick of 6-pack challenges, and I'm going to say it. I'm sick of Natalya. Okay, look, that's not entirely true. I like Natalya. But my God, she's been around so long. She's this likable utility player. You need a heel, they turn her heel. Here's Natalya as a heel. She's a sneer. She's got a sneer, so you can tell she's heel Natalya. Need a baby face? Look, there's Natalya wearing cat ears. Need someone with a legacy? Here comes Hart family Natalya. Need someone to work with the NXT rookies? There's like Natalya. There's always a reason that Natalya's there. Need someone to open up a Spirit Wireless store at 5 a.m. on a Sunday. Boom! There's Natalya. I take nothing away from her. WWE talks about her like she's a big deal. And in some ways, her family and all the things she's done, she's a big deal. But her win-loss record says something else. She's a great veteran talent. But Ronda Rousey is not losing to Natalya. I don't know when the match is taking place. Maybe it's Hell in the Cell. Maybe it's on TV. Maybe it could be at a premium live event called Natalya Mania. This I do know. They'll have a solid match. But no matter what it's called, no matter where it is, I know that Natalya's going to lose. Everyone knows this. If I went to DraftKings and I bet on Natalya, my bank would probably flag it and go, someone has hacked your account, Jim. You've been hacked. We're going to shut down your account because someone thought that Natalya was going to win a match. I love Natalya, but even my bank knows that Natalya is going to lose to Ronda Rousey. It's pointless. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. WWE has got 2 major events this weekend. Did you know this? I was listening to Brian, and he had to remind me. There's Hell in the Cell, and there's NXT in your house from the Performance Center. Not only did Hell in the Cell sneak up on us, but so did In Your House. 6 matches, all from Raw. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, Hell in the Cell. Plus Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch versus Asuka for the women's title. Bobby Lashley versus Omos versus MVP in a handicap match. Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel. Finn Balor versus and AJ Styles and Liv Morgan versus the Judgment Day of Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. By the way, Rhea Ripley and Edge have the same haircut. There's also Theory versus Mustafa Ali versus for that United States title. The coveted United States title. Mustafa Ali is so talented, but he's got to be one of the worst booked challengers leading into a premium live event. Speaking of live events, NXT has got 6 matches. Speaking of worst book, Braun Breaker versus Joe Gacy for the NXT title with the stipulation that the title can change hands via DQ. I'm excited. I don't know about you. Other matches, the always solid Cameron Grimes versus Carmelo Hayes for the North American title. Premium Deadly versus the Creed Brothers. And if the Creed Brothers lose, they're out of the Diamond Mine. Mandy Rose versus Wendy Chu for the women's title. Gigi Dolan versus Jacy Jane. Those names are hard to say, aren't they? Gigi Dolan, Jacy Jane. It's fun to say. They defend the women's tag titles against Katana Chance and Caden Carter. And a 6-man title where the losing team merges with the winning group under the group's leadership with Legado taking on Tony D'Angelo versus Stacks and Two Dimes. God bless him. Stacks and Two Dimes. It sounds like they're in DOA. Remember Chains and all those guys? Anyway, I don't know. Those are premium live events. They're premium. You pay for them on Peacock. Those are millions of dollars of events. NBC Universal paid hundreds of millions of dollars for Stacks and Two Dimes and Tony D'Angelo versus Legado, Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, and Cruz del Toro. That's money well spent right there, I tell you. I don't know. Anyway, a couple of other Smackdown notes since you probably didn't watch it. Max Dupree and Adam Pearce has got great chemistry. The Maximum Male Models, whatever that is, debut next week. And Madcap Moss this week lost the suspenders. He broke out of an ambulance wearing black tights, black fist tape on his wrists. He's very, very serious. Anyway, hey, I want to talk about this. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, they're both great. But do they really have enough heat for a Hell in a Cell match? Seriously, they're going to do great. They're both outstanding wrestlers with great chemistry, but how long has Hell in the Cell been a pay-per-view or a premium live event? How many Hells in a Cell have felt necessary? I mean, seriously. And I'm not talking about the ones like with Undertaker and WrestleMania or outside of the pay-per-view, but the pay-per-view on the match itself. Have you ever had a calendar on your phone and it comes up, it beeps on your calendar, it reminds you? and then you forgot it altogether, and you forgot it. That's what Hell in a Cell invariably feels like. It's just as something that WWE forgot. It's like, oh my gosh, we got 3 weeks. We got Hell in a Cell. Quick, Cody. Quick, Edge. Quick, Judgment Day. Quick, I don't know, Omos. You get in a match with Bobby Lashley. It just feels slapped together. This homelessness cage that comes down from the sky should be the culmination of a blood feud. You know, you could feel that Roman Reigns, when he eventually gets put in his place and dethroned by someone, that could happen inside Hell in a Cell. It won't happen in Hell in a Cell, but it could. You can picture it in your mind. You know what else I can picture? The creative meeting where Vince McMahon stood up in front of all of his 500 writers, sort of like Lord Palpatine in front of the Galactic Senate. Guys, we've got 12 pay-per-views. We got to come up with something. We need this idea. And someone in the back says, I've got an idea. We'll talk about that idea and what it is and whether or not it's good, like Lord Palpatine would say, or it's bad. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
How is your car payment?
You're clear.
If I told you you could make a free phone call right now and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Look at your car payment closely. You could be paying as high as 20% interest. Rate Genius can help you reduce your car payments by reducing your interest rate to as low as 2.48% APR. We can refinance most existing car loans or leased cars, new or used, and save you money every month. Put more money back in your pocket. The call is free to find out how low we can lower your car payment. 5 minutes of your time right now could save you hundreds of dollars a year. Call Rate Genius now.
800-811-7913. 800-811-7913. 800-811-7913. That's 800-811-7913.
Not all applicants qualify for a loan or rate savings. Actual offer terms, including APR, are determined at the time of your application based on creditworthiness, value of the vehicle, loan term, and other factors.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-215-6812. 800-215-6812. 800-215-6812. That's 800-215-6812.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-915-9654. 800-915-9654. 800-915-9654. That's 800-915-9654.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
I don't care. I will always love this song. I will always represent Butterfly. Excuse me a second. I gotta go put my Jenko jeans on. Get my big chunky necklace on. Sit here and listen to this. I'm going back to the 2000s. It's Jim Valley. It's Wrestling Observer Live. I'm going back to the 2000s. I'm going back to the Star Wars prequels. Vince McMahon, like Emperor Palpatine, standing in front of all of his creative people. What are we going to do? We have 12 pay-per-views a year, guys. We need something. Someone comes up in the back. I've got an idea. What if we took our most over gimmick match, we put it in a random spot on the pay-per-view calendar, but then forgot about it, then slapped something together with 3 weeks notice, not too many matches, and only like matches from one of our shows. Completely devalue this expensive cage that we built. That's good stuff, pal. Now let's spin the wheel of Lacy Evans and find out what's next for her. Oh, it lands on move her to Smackdown. There we go. You know, speaking of the 2000s, I see there's a new Jurassic Park movie. Let me guess the plot. Let me see. Someone wants to build a dinosaur amusement park, but it goes horribly wrong. It's just like Hell in the Cell. It shows up every year, and WWE does not build to it. They just slap something together. They never learn. It came about in 2009. It's been on the calendar for 12 years, and it's almost always an afterthought. Murderous dinosaurs go on a killing rampage at a theme park, teaching man a lifelong lesson until 3 summers from now. The only hope that we can have for Hell in a Cell is that it doesn't kill Seth Rollins' career again. You know, Bray Wyatt's been teasing that he's coming back soon. I don't know that it's in WWE. All I can hope for Seth Rollins is that it's not in Hell in the Cell, because that would make it the scariest match ever. You know, a few weeks ago, or was it last week? I forget. I don't know these days. Time is a flat circle. I was on the Stick to Wrestling podcast with my friend John McAdam. We did 1987, the year in review, and they promoted it by saying that I slaughtered some sacred cows. Well, fire up the barbecue, because your hot take uncle is ready. You know, on the show, Stick to Wrestling, I talked about how I'm not the biggest Eddie Gilbert fan. You know, he was kind of short. He had some good ideas. He was fine for Memphis, fine for the UWF, but he never translated to a national audience, you know? And there are a few others like him. You can hear the show. I kind of talk about other people. And I say this not to be provocative. That's how I really feel. I'm not afraid to take a risk. You know, sometimes I'm not afraid to say that Cody Rhodes was the best wrestler in the world. And other times, I'm not afraid to say that I think Lacey Evans has something, or Keith Lee has something. I can be wrong, but I'm not afraid to say it. And I don't say it for clicks or to be shocking. You know, there's so many other shows. You've got to do things to take risks. There's so many shows that talk about how great MJF is or whatever. Can I tell you something? I'm bored of MJF. It already sounds like old news. Talk about MJF's promo. Everybody did it. He's planning his show. And then CM Punk had to go get injured. And that's what I get for planning a show. I did a Twitter poll. Over 1,000 of you voted. 1,000 of you. That's impressive. 46% of you loved MJF's promo on Wednesday night. 22% thought it was another boring cliche work shoot promo. And 31% said, let's wait and see where it goes. I'm kind of surprised by that. I thought there'd be more of you who'd be very positive about it. I thought there'd be fewer of the 31%. But many of you said that you would have picked all three of the options. I think my good friend Joe V, Channel 12 in Portland, said it best. He said, MJF is awesome, but I'm just not that into it. When Punk did the pipe bomb promo 11 years ago, it was about the lack of opportunities from Vince. MJF gets all the opportunities in the world. He's mostly complaining about not getting paid enough. And salary squabbles aren't compelling to me. I agree with Joe V, especially at MJF's age. Especially this. Let me say this. I had friends in line for the meet and greet for MJF. They waited 2 hours for MJF. Now look, they get their money refunded, but they can't get their time back, especially on a vacation that they planned. A lot of people flew across the country to go to Las Vegas. There are a lot of other things they could have done with their 2 hours, like go see Debbie Malenko wrestle, for example. Don't waste people's time like that. I don't care who you are or what you think you're doing. Wasting 2 hours is effing garbage. There are people with lives. They don't need to waste 2 hours so you can pretend to be Brian Pillman. Calling people marks, doing whatever is one thing. Wasting their time is another thing. They're people and they have lives. They don't need to suffer for your performance art. I watched the promo. Could you tell if it was Max or MJF? Could you tell if it was a shoot or a work? How could you tell? No matter what. Shooting, joking, serious, angry, happy with himself. MJF is always yelling. It's always the same tone or cadence. Plus, what's the most creative thing MJF has ever said? It's always low-hanging fruit. Drug jokes with CM Punk. It's always the obvious. People compare MJF with Roddy Piper. I'm here to tell you, he's no Roddy Piper. And I'm talking about prime Roddy Piper, not Piper where lifestyle choices had fogged his brain in his promos. I'm talking about prime Roddy Piper, the national sensation. Geraldine Ferraro, the Democratic nominee for vice president, cut a promo on Roddy Piper. Can you see Kamala Harris or AOC cutting a promo on MJF? Not a chance. He's not at that level. MJF is overrated. Now look, I'm not saying I hate MJF. I don't. I appreciate his confidence and his commitment to character. We'll make it into that later. What I'm saying is that he doesn't have a lot of creative things to say. He's not saying anything that hasn't been said before. He is Don Rickles with headlocks. Seriously, put the Burberry scarf on Mr. Potato Head in Toy Story. You've got MJF, you hockey puck. Seriously, it's not that big of a deal for him to mention WWE on AEW TV. That happens. AEW is the number 2 promotion. I love it, but it is. Historically, it's not unusual. Pepsi mentions Coke. I get that younger fans haven't seen it, but it happened all the time during the Monday Night Wars. You know, I don't compare MJF to Roddy Piper. I don't think MJF is Piper. But somebody does remind me of Roddy Piper this week. You know, I became hooked on Piper when he was in Portland. Buddy Rose was the top heel. And Buddy Rose, to fans in Portland, invented a hair match. And he started cutting over the course of several weeks all of the undercard baby faces on the roster. He shaved the head of a rookie named Steve Pardee. Then another rookie named Mike Hennessy. Another young rookie named Babyface King Parsons before he was Iceman. He shaved the head of Chris Adams before he left to Dallas. All of these babyface losses, including Red Bastien, until finally Roddy Piper stepped up and beat Buddy Rose inside of a steel cage with special referee Red Bastien. They shaved Buddy Rose's hair. When Ortiz cut a lock of Jericho's hair this past week on Dynamite, I had Portland flashbacks. Now, I don't know. Is Chris Jericho going to shave his head? He certainly could. And if he does, he'll make it a big deal. And with all due respect to the very talented Ortiz, he's not the guy to cut Chris Jericho's hair. Jericho, like Playboy Buddy Rose, needs to shave the head of a few more young baby faces to build some heat. And then finally, get his head shaved by Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. Now, while he's in the Buddy Rose role right now, Jericho feels more like the modern equivalent of Roddy Piper. He's not as manic as Piper, but he does update for the modern audiences. Piper was used popular things in the news and things in pop culture. Jericho doesn't rip things from the headlines, but he does update things constantly to try to stay fresh and ahead of the audience. And that's why I think Jericho is more the modern equivalent of Roddy Piper, and why MJF is just playing Toy Story. Yeah, hockey buck. 1-800-878-PLAY. 1-800-878-7529. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live, Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
You're clear.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-391-8713. 800-391-8713. 800-391-8713. That's 800-391-8713.
I don't even recognize myself anymore.
I'm really worried about him. His addiction. I haven't seen him like this. Ever.
Hey, look, I never wanted to start using. I knew the drill, but I was out of options.
I just want to tell him it's not your fault. There are people out there who can help. People who have felt your pain. They know what you're going through.
This has to stop. I'm losing everything. Everyone.
You've been strong your whole life. You can do this, but you have to reach out for help.
It's time. I can do this.
Addiction is a disease, and diseases need treatment.
Call Quit Drugs 321 now at 800-378-3508. 800-378-3508. That's 800-378-3508. Paid for by the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Airlines have just reduced their prices even more. Book 30 days in advance and save big.
Want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets? Then call the Low Cost Airlines Travel Hotline right now. For prices so low, we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. Hey, before I log out, I want to say a sincere congratulations to Michael Cole. He's been on WWE for 25 years, and I know a lot of people crack on Michael Cole, but I've got a lot of respect for him. I mean, he's been humiliated during backstage interviews, compared unfavorably to Jim Ross, yelled at in his headset by Vince McMahon, and dried hump by Heidenreich. And through it all, he's juggled his on-air job and his off-air duties with a lot of grace and class, and I think it's not easy. And, I remember, I had my announcer audition. I was flown out by WWE in 2003. God, it's coming up on 20 years ago. Ridiculous. WWE just done a double shot in Madison Square Garden, back-to-back Raw and Smackdown tapings. That was the one where Roddy Piper lost Eddie Guerrero and Roddy Piper was out of the company, but that's another story for another time. WWE flew me out and I spent the night at the Holiday Inn Express in Stamford. They took me to the studio and Michael Cole had been up all night with SmackDown, came in from the city, traveled back to the studio. He's hunched over in a director's chair, obviously exhausted, and now he's got to go through all these auditions. And I wasn't even the first one of the day. And, he was very polite, very helpful, but obviously exhausted. We get through my audition and he's got, his other work to do. It's just a grind, and he's done it for 25 years. And you never hear about Michael Cole scandals or anything else, but he's obviously been fairly compensated, but he's eaten a lot of crap and taken a lot of crap to get there. And, I didn't get the job, and honestly, I don't know that I could have done what he does. And I think all of us fans and everybody should respect him and thank him sincerely for what he's done for 25 years. Seriously. Michael Cole, you got nothing but respect for me. And I mean, it's Jim Valley. You have a great Saturday. I'll talk to you next time. Tweet me. It's Jim Valley. Wrestling Observer Live. Sports Byline. Broadcasting Network. All right, man.
You are clear. I'll talk to you next week. Have a good week.
I think we pulled it off, man. Thank you.
I'll send you the file in a bit.
Thank you, man. Bye.
Former Trump advisor Peter Navarro was arrested after trying to board a flight at an airport in Nashville. Per an unsealed court document, Navarro was indicted on charges of contempt of Congress after repeatedly defying the orders of the House committee investigating the January 6th riot.
President Biden cannot decide what our rights is.